During my time in Shanghai, I had the opportunity to extensively explore the city, which I chose to do one afternoon. As I was waiting to cross a road, a group of 5 men decided to start throwing stones at me and yelling angry, hateful sounding words in Chinese. After a while, I put up my hand to say no and stop, to which they just continued, and so I ran across the road for fear of my own safety. When I got back to my hotel room later that day, I felt very upset, very hurt. I had cuts on me from the stones where they had hit me. I was sad because for the first time in my life I had been publicly humiliated and stoned. I had never experienced such hatred from people for a reason I didn't understand. I then felt angry at these men for what they had done to me, how badly they had hurt me, how uncomfortable I had felt in that situation, and I blamed China. I blamed the country as a whole. I believed that what they were doing was something that was an attack on Westerners. It was as if to say, you're a Westerner, I don't want you in my country. And I thought that maybe that was a way that Chinese people perceived certain Westerners, and this was a result of those feelings and emotions. And so I very much felt angry at China for the actions of these men. But on deeper thought, I realised and I learnt that within any society there are people who do the wrong thing. There are people who show a bad side to what that culture is actually like. And as I reflected on this point even more, I realised that every other Chinese person I had met me with smiles, gratefulness, thankfulness, friendship, and love to an extent, and that this was not the way that China perceived Westerners. They did not think that Westerners were someone that should be stoned to get them out of the country. They didn't perceive me that way, but because of my hurt and my anger, I had taken that on board as that was the message that they were communicating. But it wasn't actually that way. And so my thinking changed about China, and I still question now why that happened, but I learnt that within any society there's going to be people who are idiots and who treat others very, very badly. And in future, I think it's not something where the action of a small group or individual represents everyone. For instance, I attribute it to like an SRC at school. The Student Representative Council may say that they're a small group and they may say that this is the way things go, but whilst they may represent the whole school, they don't necessarily have enough ideas of everyone, and so they may not be a true representative of that group, of that larger group. Just like these men are not a true representative of the Chinese people. They are a minority who chose to act in a certain way, which happened to hurt me, but I have learnt that that is not actually how Chinese people perceive me. And whilst this was a very hurtful experience, it opened my mind to seeing how small groups, when they hurt a particular individual,